I'm tired. Tired in my body, tired in my mind, tired in my emotions, just tired. I feel a natural urge to start the video with some type of introduction. But I don't want to. When I was in kindergarten, I had my first, what I later realized was a non-dual experience. I was playing with this little, play set. It was like a little stove, had the little utensils. And then all of a sudden it just hit me. I just felt like I was falling. Physically, emotionally, mentally. Just something felt like it clicked. And ever since that moment, I've tried to explain it, understand it, rationalize it, explain it away, and I can't. I was put on medication when I was 3 years old for ADHD. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. And I'm starting to get to the point where I just don't care. I've tried looking at different scientific possibilities. And I'm starting just not even to care about that either. I've looked at frameworks, integral theory, 9 stages of ego development, stages of faith, to try to explain why I am the way I am. I'm starting not to care as much because it's all exhausting. I've had questions since I've been on this YouTube channel, started in January 2026, of how I might be perceived. Will they think it's just a performance? Do I need to put on a performance? Do I need to talk about practical stuff? Do I need to talk about spiritual stuff? Do I need to be more personal? Do I need to be less personal? I look at my past videos and I want to take them down, all of them. Because I see that I've been trying to construct an identity of who I want to be. And then a part of me sees it slipping. If you watch my past videos, even my early ones, you see a person on the camera talking about developmental psychology and how they're at a late stage and how they don't want to be your guru, how they want you to find autonomy. How Caleb's at a late stage and he's rare and he has this perspective that the world needs to hear. That spiritual circles are not as evolved as they think they are. What a fucking joke. My defense mechanism is over-intellectualization, using psychology and logic as a fortress to protect myself. Because growing up, I thought I was crazy, and medication was thrown at me, and I took it. And I had a story, and my story was I'm crazy. Even the doctors don't see that I'm crazy, but I'm crazy. Why won't they give me the diagnosis? I've been on many different medications, had different diagnoses. I had an unstable home life. Psychology was my escape. If I can explain everything and everybody, I can feel safe. But whatever that experience was in kindergarten, it made it difficult to hold that story 100% because I saw through it all. But then I try to deny it. I try to say, no, it's because my brain is defective. But yet I can still function in the world. Maybe it's because I need a different medication. Maybe it's because I'm not on enough medication. Maybe it's because I'm on too little medication. But I can still function in the world. Maybe I have to convince my doctor that I'm crazy. So I'll start talking to myself and start using random sentences to get more medication. And it would work. And I'd feel guilty. And I feel like I deserved that guilt. I deserved that shame. Because it's easier to admit that than to admit that you have a caregiver who is unable to meet you emotionally what you need as a child. And other people can show you love and compassion, but it doesn't matter when you're a kid and you want it from your primaries, and they're unable to do that. I'm not used to being vulnerable. Even as I make this talk on this video, I want to throw psychology in there. Say, this is why I'm doing this, why I'm doing that. But really, I'm just scared. I've talked about spiritual bypassing in the past, and even said that there's no spiritual bypass in here. And I don't even know if that's true. You may see me or a person on your screen crying, or tearing up, or looking depressed. And you might feel like this need to try to save them. Give them advice. Write in the comments, I hope everything gets better. Hope you're going to be doing okay. I'm here for you if you ever need to talk. And while it's all well-meaning, for me, in my place in life right now, the best and most healthy thing for me to do is just to be expressing myself and having whatever emotion comes up. I don't need anything else. And just the ability to have space to be able to allow myself to do that, whether it's tears, whether it's crying, whether it's anger, whether it's happiness or fear or anything, is a blessing. Because it means I'm not over intellectualizing or lying to get medication to numb myself out. And the thing is a story is so strong when you're in it. And it was tough for me to give up that story. And it was painful to see it. Because now there's this constant fear and freedom. And they're both there. Where I had a story for 30 years being on medication. And that story influenced everything that I saw in the world and how I oriented myself in the world. And I believed it to be 100% me. Even when many people told me it wasn't. And then when I started going to holistic doctors and they said, wait a minute, you don't need this much medication. You might not need any medication. The story was still there. And I fought with them. And I said, no, I need medication. And they said, oh, okay. And then after some time, I started sharing things about myself that I never shared with a doctor. All the doctors I had before a holistic doctor, I kept a lot of that shit inside because I didn't feel like I was being seen. I feel like I was just being put in a box, check off a box and thrown medication. So that changed my whole paradigm. And so eventually, with care, effort, and collaboration and close observation, I'm finally off medication with my doctor's approval. And I'm doing better. For my life situation, I've been on medication since I was 3 years old. I don't know anything else. I don't know anything before medication. My nervous system doesn't know anything before medication. My mind, my emotions don't know anything before medication. So this is all new for me. And I've been off medication for almost a year. And it's been beautiful, challenging, and painful. But it's been necessary. Now that's my life situation. That's my path so far. I can't and don't have a right to tell people that they don't need medication. I don't have a right to tell people how to live their life. But yet, sometimes people will see things in you that you don't see in yourself. That's a paradox. And I'm trying to over intellectualize, to not feel. I've watched non-dual videos, and there's one I've been watching recently that's been very helpful and very eye-opening and very soothing for my nervous system. And people on there talk about different things. And the more they talk about stuff, the more I realize that my mind isn't even my mind. My emotions aren't even my emotions. My sensations aren't even my sensations. I experience them, but the I is very common, the same as everybody else. People say things on this channel, on the channel that I watch, and just in my daily life when I open myself up to it and realize that there's no original thought, there's no original emotion, there's no original sensation, there's no original I that's individual from everybody. There's no authority. But there's also confusion. Because at least in America, that's how I was raised. And Everybody has different life situations. Mine, I'm half black and half white. I grew up in America. I was raised in a small rural town. There wasn't a lot of diversity. I was one of the few. I dealt with racism and I felt from a young age I had to pick a side. Do I want to be black? Do I want to be white? What side are you? And my thought was, why do I need to pick a side? Why can't I just be me? But being a kid and wanting to fit in, I had a period of time or phase where I picked a side, which meant I discounted the other side. So there was a phase I wanted to be seen as white. And there was a phase I wanted to be seen as black. And each time I picked a side, it hurt. So eventually it just hurt so much that I said, I'm not picking a side. I'm picking me. I don't even know if I want to post this video. But I guess if I have these thoughts and these emotions, and if I'm experiencing these, then there's someone in the world that experiences them too and wants to have it spoken out loud. I honestly don't even know why I made this channel. It's just been gnawing at me to make this channel since I was very young. When I was in school, in grade school, middle school, even before middle school, just after that experience, I knew that when I came out of it, that experience, and it wasn't like, I don't know, it was like at 1 minute I was just playing on a play set, and then the next moment I fell into this void and this connected with everything. It was beautiful. Came out of it, was looking at my peers and very happy, and I was felt very connected to them. And I realized, or a part of me realized, that one day I'd have to give it all up. Not because I want to, but because it just will become exhausting. And not give it up as in like die physically, but give it up as die from the sense of who I think I am and who society tells me I am or wants to tell me I am. And that's more scary for me. It's not trying to get a bunch of money, have a bunch of sexual encounters, be very strong. No. The scariest thing is just letting the concept of who I think I am go. And of course, there's a bunch of beautiful defense mechanisms that come up in my awareness. Make a channel that I'm not your guru, but want to be your guru. Make a channel that I want you to have autonomy, but that I don't want you to have autonomy. All these different tensions and paradoxes to try to reel me back in. Not even make a video, because if I talk about how I think and feel, that people are going to think I'm crazy. Which even that story is bullshit, because I can still function in the world. I can still get shit done. So what story's left? If they're all stories, and even me telling this as a story is a story, what's left? Do I make videos like Alan Watts and say and describe the water so beautifully, but never get wet? Unless it's at a bar. Do I act like Eckhart Tolle and just say rest in the now? While also being unable to answer people's questions for the relative domain of life and how awareness can look within that. And have that be limited stuff that's shared. Yeah, I mean, I could probably make a lot of money off of that. And the funny thing is those are the games that they're playing. Those are the roles they're playing. And they're necessary and they're beautiful. But I'm over here trying to point the finger at different things, saying, where's my place in the world? No, look at all you. But who would I be if I don't point the finger? I'd be nobody. And everybody's somebody.